left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average English podcast. Today we are joined by a very special guest who was on the podcast a year and 2 months ago. At which point we told him, we promised, we said, you know what, Brennan, here's the deal. We're going to make these baits. And it took a year for us to do that. So we brought him on just so we could apologize. And that's it. No, we got a lot to talk about. Brennan has been smashing some fishies and we want to hear all about it because we're super jealous because he's catching massive smallies. So we're going to hear all about that as well as do it molds and hopefully learn a thing or two. So Brennan, how we doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here. So thanks for the opportunity to let me come on here and disturb the peace again.
Absolutely, man. It's not often that we have a person come back on a delay of 1 year and 2 months. That's a prestigious thing. It's very special. We should make it work.
It's an honor. Thank you.
All right. We also got Paul here. Paul, what's up, man? How you doing? I hear your house is chaos.
My house is a disaster. So I'm here, I'm alive, but
you're being yelled at behind your door right now.
It's the storm before the calm. Because if you have a family, right, and you have kids, you know that going on vacation it's so the amount of crap you have to jam into whatever vehicle you're driving, it will be packed to a 12 out of 10. Everyone will get screamed at. There's no safety. No one will be safe. Even the dog. The dog might get the worst of it because she can't really do anything back. So she might get the worst of it.
And she can't help in the situation.
If anything, all she can do is hurt you. If you get in my way,
that's my favorite thing when I'm just mean walking across the kitchen and then my dog cuts in front of me and I'm just I'm like, dude, get out of here.
My dog, the thing that makes me so mad, my dog is 12. Yeah. And when we're eating, I don't like her under the table. Right. She just wants to eat everything my kids are dropping. So all I really ask of her is don't run away. So I have to go get you. Don't bite any children that aren't mine. And then don't be under the table when I'm trying to eat. That's pretty much it. Those are the rules.
And then exist happily.
One of those rules, and it's the one with the table, she has 0.0 memory for. None whatsoever. And I'll be like, get out of the kitchen. Get out of here. Get. I'll scream. And then she'll go. Yeah, look at me. I'm being good. I will literally turn around. I'll blink. And she's under me. I'm like,
I love it.
Dude, your kids have been sneaking her food. That's what it is.
They literally, Cheerios?
That's how that habit gets started. The same thing happens in my household. So I just want to let you know that is 100% why that happens.
I caught my kid doing it the other day.
My dog ate a pound and a half of cooked bacon right off the counter. Okay, my dog is
Nice.
a
Fancy
menace,
taste.
an
I like that.
absolute menace.
Charles
That's
doesn't
what I
like
got.
bacon. He would like everybody to know that.
Thank you,
All right.
Charles.
So let's dive in because we got a lot to talk about. So we definitely want to catch up on your smallie stories. Talk about some massive smallmouth. Real quick before we kick off the show, though, I mean, you were a part of the previous show, the no longer existing Burly Fishing Podcast, RIP, and we
RIP.
had a Q of the D on that show as well. So before we get into that, though, quick shout out to everybody helping support the show. We got Monster Bass throwing us a gift card again tonight, so there will be a schmiv away end of the show. And yes, Brennan, that's how we say it. That keeps the tube happy, the tube of you. So we say schmiv away instead of, the other secret word.
Let's
But
throw
Monster.
let's throw a do it starter kit in for a schmiv away then too. Stack it up.
Ooh, okay.
Soft bait kit. If we're talking about soft
Holy
baits today, I think
smokes.
it's only right.
I think so. Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate that. So,
Well, now no matter what I was going to talk about, now I'm talking about soft baits.
well,
Yep.
duh. So we got some schmivin away going down at the end of the show. So you guys got to hang out with us tonight. You got to hang out for the end of the show, and we will have a starter kit from Do It Molds. And thank you, Brennan, for that. And then we've got a $25 Monster Bass gift card. Chaz, remind me into the show in order: Monster Bass gift card, then the big one, Do It. Right?
The big
Cool.
one.
Okay. Because we always mess that order up. Other than that, shout outs to our boy Ethan Duvetter over at Mule Fishing. Always love supporting him. We're throwing tons of BFS with his plastics right now. Busby coming out with some prizes for the Knucklehead Bass series, which is still going on, you guys. And I'm bad. I'm going to check the leaderboard when we do the Q of the D, Paul, and just see where everybody's at.
Yep.
So I'll shout that out in a second. But if you guys haven't registered for it, you need to do that. You got 7 days left in May. Technically 6.
That just means June is literally starting next week.
We got June, we got July, and we got August still. So it's 4 months total. You got a chance to win some great prizes. This month, we're going to be giving away probably some stuff from Akuma. And then we're going to have some Busby stuff coming up as well. But I have some reels and some hats from Akuma that'll be thrown in here with some tackle from us. So if you want surprises and you want a chance to come down and fish with us in Alabama, then you're going to want to join this thing. It's totally worth it, and it's a ton of fun. Just good community builder. Cool. Q of the D?
Q of the D. Before we do that, I'm just going to say right now, Brennan, I need you to enter this contest. I need you to place in the top 5 in either my team preferably or Jeff's. And then you can come down and fish Huntsville with us out of a kayak. I'll get you the kayak.
I'll be screwed if I'm fishing out of a kayak, dude.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Okay.
No, you won't.
Right,
It's
we'll
going to be amazing. It needs to happen. I'm gonna
quick
create you a
question.
profile. I'm gonna go catch you 5 fish. I'm
Here's
gonna put you up to the top 5.
we got you. Here's the deal. What color kayak would you choose if you were to choose a gray one or a red, white, and blue one?
You're gonna have to back up real quick because I totally cut out that whole time when you were asking.
Oh no!
Yeah,
all
sorry
right,
about
you got
that.
it now. So here's how we're gonna help you choose a team. Which team you're on? Would you like a gray kayak or a red, white, and blue kayak?
Is it like Toyota gray, like the new Toyota gray?
Slate
It's like
gray.
a
little speckledness in there,
gray sky, little sea foam gray.
Yeah, little sea foam.
The sea foam kind of threw me off, but
Not green. It's like wispy.
Okay.
It's like a wispy white.
Don't save
blue.
it, Paul. Don't try and save it.
Okay, one more question. Is it like could it be mistaken? Like somebody would be like, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but somebody would be like, "Oh, that's a chick's kayak."
No,
They're both sitting sides. If that tells you anything, so
I'll take the risk with the gray.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
not that I don't
definitely
like
the better
America and
boat.
the red, white, and blue, but
it's definitely the better boat.
It is the better boat. That's why I went with asking for the color. I was like, which color you want? Yeah, we have 2 sitting sides. That's it.
All right,
But
you're gonna end up on my team, which is
Fine.
Team Flanders, as in Ned Flanders. We're gonna handle this. I'm gonna handle this. All right, Q of the D. Let's
anchor
actually
your
do it.
entire team to the bank.
I'm gonna start letting the
I'm gonna
mustache
say,
length just go. I'm gonna see if I can get it past my
you?
bottom lip by the time
with the Seth fighter,
November rolls around.
full fighter.
All right.
fine.
So the
Let's jump
actual
in.
question of the day: have you guys ever gone to the store and you've seen those like $4 beef sticks, like the ones that are like Wagyu beef, or they have like like venison, and like you know what I'm talking about, right? The fancy ones.
sure.
Would you rather, if someone's just going to give you one, regardless of price, would you rather have one of those, or would you rather have the old Wisconsin $2 per pack meat sticks that are probably made of chemicals. Which one would you pick? Which one would
You
you
really
pick?
sold that.
Yeah, yeah. You
Well,
made
the
that one
Wagyu
really
beef,
easy
the
to
Wagyu
say.
beef one, I believe, has raisins and nuts in it. So it's like I'll be honest, it's not as easy of a choice as what you might think.
Old Wisconsin's, I mean, it's old reliable. You know what you're getting.
Right?
100%.
Chemicals and all, you know, it's familiar. There's
Yes.
comfort there.
It's engineered to
Familiar
be delicious.
chemicals.
There's no getting
Mhm.
around that. It is
Absolutely.
engineered for it to be delicious. And
Yep.
you're getting about 6 pounds.
All right. I think I'm gonna roll the dice though and take the risk and just get out of my comfort zone. And I'll try some Wagyu
Oh, I like it.
beef steak. I'll try
You're
it.
gonna I can't say whether you'd be mad or not. Jeff, what would you go with?
Old Wisconsin. No brainer.
This one's
Good
tough,
choice.
man. We got a lot of it looks like we got mixed I need Charles, we might have to do a Charles, we might have to do a survey here. We're gonna do a
Chemicals.
survey. Oh, it's gonna be Epic. I think that's what it is. It's Epic, or those are the expensive ones, or it's gonna be the old
Epic is
Wisconsin.
disgusting. I don't care who you are, how you feel. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Epic Meats, disgusting
They have a
products.
turkey
Absolutely
one. I think it's the
They
only
have a
one.
salmon one, dude. Have you had the
I've
salmon?
eaten the salmon one. It's
It's
very salty.
impossible to consume.
It's really hard to
Impossible.
eat.
Ugh,
Old Wisconsin, though,
ugh.
I feel like you're definitely shaving months off your life. I mean,
Don't
I
care.
love it. It's great, but there's no way you're not just like shortening your intestines somehow.
Let's be
Like,
real. Life gets pretty boring in your late 70s. So it's like,
just give
I
it up.
mean, whatever.
Yeah, but I had that pack Old Wisconsin that one tournament.
Right.
I
Gross.
would have been
It was
around for
good.
another year to my grandkids, but had that old 5 pounds of old Wisconsin later, and here we are.
I like it. I can't wait to
But,
see what the survey says. All
all
right.
right, while the survey is finishing up, real quick, I got an update. Teams haven't changed, but the total length has changed. So we got Team Flanders in first place, Michael Musgrove with a 103.25
Not
inches.
bad. Not
And
bad.
on Team Stark, my team, we've got Elizabeth Servos still
104?
still in the lead with 107.75. A commanding lead, I
Dude,
will
I
say.
like it.
So nice job to both of them and
I
every
like
other
it.
angler participating. So
Yes.
if you haven't signed up, make sure you're still come on, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, I always say survey says.
Of
I
course.
will,
Is
once
it
it's
done?
done. Is it done? We only had 26 people. I'm gonna give it a minute. Let's just see another
All
vote.
right.
2 more votes just came in. All right. While
We'll
we're
come back
doing
to it.
that, Brennan, would you please do an introduction for us on the company that you work for? That would be really helpful.
All right. I'll try to be as formal as possible. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah.
This is
So
not that show.
yeah, no. That's my kind of show. That's why I'm here, boys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm Brennan. I'm the product manager here at itMolds. I've been here for 5 years and some change. So I'm the product manager here, which here doesn't, we're not about job titles. There's a lot of things that I do. One of the things that I guess probably the most passionate about would be our product development. And what we do here at Do It Molds, for people that aren't familiar with Do It, we are a company that manufactures molds for you to make your own tackle. So jig molds, I could probably grab one here in a second, but basically molds that allow you to pour lead, pour soft bait into lures, into baits. So it could be a round head jig for bluegill and walleye fishing, or it could be a really complex bass jig. It could be a giant saltwater flutter spoon. It could be a Yamamoto 5-inch Senko or a Ned rig or a creature bait. Moral of the story is we make molds for you people at home to make your own tackle with. Also sell all the componentry that goes with it, plastisol, hooks, fiber guards, skirts, paint, everything. So we're kind of a one-stop shop for everything custom tackle.
Even the bags that the baits
Even
would
the
go
bags.
into when you're done.
Sir,
Unreal.
that's me,
Perfect.
and that's what we do.
I love
There's
it.
my
I love how
formal
succinct
introduction.
that was. Yes. Perfect. All right. Survey says, Paul.
Survey says, which kind of beat stick would you rather eat? This show is insane. Old Wisconsin is edging out fancy beef sticks by 11%, 55 to 44%. on a 36 vote total. That's pretty tight. That's a tighter
That's a
race than I would have thought.
representation of America.
I
And
think
that's
you're
just
right.
fine. And
I
that's
think
just
that-
fine. I like
That's
that.
pretty
That's
good.
all right with me.
It's pretty good. All right. So I do
Nice.
have a question. So we made an assumption back in the day when we were like, oh, we're gonna start
Did
making our own
we?
baits. I made an assumption. Then I
You
was
did.
like, sure, me. I was like, I feel like plastics is the easiest way to get into bait making.
Yeah.
I want to know, would you agree with that? Is that the easiest way to get started making your own baits, or is it not?
I would say probably not, but lead is just more forgiving. Like there's less margin for error. You can't overheat your lead. It's either hot and fluid and pouring through your melter into your mold, or it's not. You can overheat your plastisol very easily. You guys have probably found that out.
Sure did.
No.
No, it's
No, wait,
okay.
no,
It's
yeah, no.
okay.
Jeff
What?
found out. Jeff found out.
Yeah,
Jeff found out.
dude,
No.
I burn plastisol once a week out here. Like, no joke.
I
But
did 3 for 3, baby.
yeah, there you go. There you go. So no, I think that lead is probably more forgiving, but I do
Yeah.
think the soft bait thing probably attracts people that have never thought about custom tackle, and then they get into it. Like, it attracts them faster than the lead side. I do think that. This is more interesting to me.
That's fair because it's more like artistic.
Mhm.
But
100%.
as I was diving in deeper into doing my research on trying not to burn my plastic constantly, I kept running across people who make their own jigs, and now I really pay attention to it, like hardcore. And also, just the more that I get into fishing, the more I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe like the mushroom head Z-Man jig isn't like the only one that I would ever use. And I start thinking
Right.
about like, well, maybe I would like to I just found like a ball head shaky jig that is actually has a straight shank hook and is actually lined up straight, and like you can use it for like stand up paddle tails because it doesn't have the screw in. And I was like, well, that's really cool. And then I saw Noack was making like football head jigs with straight shanks that he's using on paddle tails, and I was like, well, if you went to go try and find one of those, like that would actually be really hard to find, and they really are. And he's making them super small. He's making them tiny, and I'm like, well, son of a gun, like that's pretty cool. And then I saw the setup. Then I saw the setup for the lead for pouring lead. It scared me away instantly. I'm like, there's no way I don't burn my house down. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way my garage survives round. Man, we'll call it 3. Maybe the first 2 rounds I take my time. But then my ADHD kicks in, and there's no way I don't burn my garage down. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, all of the stuff, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, if it's lead or soft bait, like, there's definitely, safety things that you need to be aware of, just be cognizant of. And then, like, unplugging your melter, that's
Yeah.
you got to know to do that, right? So, yeah, I could see it being problematic for somebody.
Yeah, because you got the melter, right, which is basically just this like heating element, and you got and there's like a cup, if I'm just
Full of
simplifying it,
metal.
full of metal that you have to like. Well, the
Molten.
other thing is you have to like, where do you get the ingots, like the little pieces of metal to? Where do you get those?
So they're pretty widely available. Like you could even buy them like on eBay. We sell lead ingots as well. You
Sure.
could go to a junkyard and get a bunch of wheel weights. Like it's I wouldn't say it's getting any easier to find, but like lead's still widely available.
Because you need like
Recycled
clean lead. It has to be like 99.99% lead.
Not necessarily. It's definitely preferred, like the more lead the better, because when you mix other alloys like tin and bismuth, which is common in recycled metals to have
Yeah.
some mixture, you just got to be aware that those are lighter metals than lead.
So you don't have your weight that you're looking for.
So your
right?
quarter ounce might be
Yep.
a little bit less than a quarter ounce now.
Yeah.
So it's something to be
Interesting.
mindful of.
I will. So the lead thing is something that Paul keeps doing the stiff arm to because it keeps coming up. He's like, nah, let's not do that. And I kind of feel the same way. At the same time, like it'd be pretty cool to start making some jigs. And then, but then, as with everything, here's what I found on your website. Your website is an absolute just wormhole. It's like you step in, you're like, I'll start with some Senkos. We'll start with the Midwest Finesse. So we got the Neds, right? And then it's like, well, I mean, I need a fluke. Well, I need a craw. And then it's like, well, we can make jigs for that craw. And then you get the jigs. And then you're like, you know what? we should paint these jigs. And then you go and you get your powder coat and stuff.
And there's
You're like, all right.
200 colors. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a
Exactly.
start.
That was the thing is once we got into, I remember, last time we were on a show or you were on our show, you guys have a show? Let's be on your show. Is that a
Sure.
thing?
Yeah. Come on.
All
We'll
right,
start
cool.
one right now.
Great. All right. First episode of Do It Molds podcast. All right.
Let's just rebrand right now.
Yeah, you should just call it
Yeah.
Just Do It. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody else is using that right now. That's not
Yeah.
important.
Wouldn't
So
get in any trouble for that.
nope, not at all. Last time you were on the show, though, you did do a schmiv away for a starter kit, and you hooked us up as well. And during the process of like filling out the form for the starter kit, I was like, dude, what colors do we need? And we just kept adding and adding and adding, and like you bought a bunch more colors, Paul, and then we're gonna probably get more. So it's like there's still all these other colors and glitters. Oh my god, glitters! The 3 different sizes and the 175,000 colors of each. So what this brings me back to is when people are getting started, right? Like, if you had to pick, because the starter kit comes with 4 colors, right?
That's correct. Yep.
So 4 colors, 4 glitters, 2.
That sounds right. There's 2 levels of soft bait kits, but we'll use
Right.
this one for an example. Sure. Yep. So you're
Sure.
correct. 4 and 4.
Okay, so I'm just trying to keep it simple. So if somebody were like, you know what? I'm gonna make some soft plastics. Why not? I got a spare microwave. I got measuring cups. I can go to a thrift store and grab all those things or a garage sale or whatever, which is what we'd recommend for sure. If you can just get the basics as cheap as humanly possible, and then spring for the mold, and then get whatever else you can. But if they do the starter kit, what would you recommend they start out with? Like colors, glitters, mold, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll start with the mold first. Like, as far as the mold goes, if you're just looking to get your first mold, just think of what you use the most of. Like, if you're a Ned fisherman, buy our Midwest Finesse mold. It's a Ned rig mold. Your kit will come with crystal clear plastisol. You can choose which rigidity level you want. Go with our crystal clear soft, and I'm talking like Ned rigs here, right? Crystal clear soft is going to be positively buoyant, so it'll stand up just like an Elastec Ned rig would. As far as colors go, so I guess where I was going with that, sorry, think of what you use the most of when it comes to your mold, and go with that. Go down that path. Like, for a lot of people, it's a 5-inch Senko, right? Go with that. As far as selecting your plastisol goes, that will come with your kit because you have that option in this case. For the stuff that needs to stay up in the water column, you generally don't want something that's super hard. The harder it is, the way that plastisol is designed, probably the less positively buoyant it's going to be. So it's going to have a tendency to sink faster. The other thing to keep in mind is like, if you're making creature baits, for example, you don't want a soft plastic. So be mindful of that. Think about that. Take advantage of the fact that you get to select what type of formula you want and make that decision according to what you get for your mold. Colorants, I would go, naturals and maybe one fluorescent color. Maybe like I'd go chartreuse. So I'd make sure I'd have chartreuse. I'd make sure I'd have green pumpkin. I'd make sure I'd have watermelon green. Probably white, for your shad imitating stuff. Glitters go, match that, right? Get your golds, get your silvers, get your blacks, get your reds, the things that are going to contrast really good in those colors.
Love it.
That's how I do it.
Because I do feel like for us, there was 2 roadblocks, right? The first roadblock was like, okay, I guess we want to make baits. What do we got to do? And then we step on the Do It website and we're like, oh, okay, that's a lot of things to decide. And they're like, we'll put it off. We'll have them on the show. We'll talk to them. They can tell us what to do. And then you did. And we're like, okay. And then, we get started with it. Now we have the stuff. Roadblock number 2. This is going to take a lot of time. This is going to be very difficult. This is probably going to be really messy. And we'll hold off. And then, Michigan, it becomes winter. We're like, it's too cold. I don't want to make it outside. We're not making it in our house. And we're like, you know what? We'll just do it next year. And then a whole year has gone by. And then we finally do the thing. The funniest part, and I think I told you this, Brennan, is like when we finally did the thing, we were like, wow, that was easy. Like It really wasn't difficult. And I mean, what I would ask you for this too, and I want everybody just to know, like, it's not that difficult. Like, just pull the trigger, do the thing. Especially if you have a starter kit and a few of this, microwave, measuring cups, blah blah blah, hanging around. Is like you said, lead is kind of an easier gateway to making your own bait. So like the whole act of doing all that, just as easy, a little bit easier than
I
soft
would say so,
plastics.
for sure.
And
Yep.
okay, so on the spectrum, basically we have this. We have like lead, pour your own jigs and weights. Then we got soft plastics, and then hard baits. Yeah, like
That's correct.
moving in. Yes, because
Yep. Yep.
now we
Yeah.
can do a
Dude,
lot of stuff.
hard baits, the airbrushing thing, that's like a whole nother world, and it's a lot more difficult in that world for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I mean, you guys carry roundabouts. How many blanks? How many
Right now we
choices?
have 36 SKUs in our hard bait crank blank line. Yep.
Okay, so we got lots of those, right? And then we have to choose. I mean, let's walk the people through real quick, like super short version here. I want to make a crankbait. What are the things that I have to consider as I procure the accoutrement to make said crankbait?
Oh yeah, so like all of these things, everything custom tackle, like you really need to dedicate a space for it. I would say airbrushing is one of those, like you have to have a true dedicated space, like something not so makeshift, like a card table you slide out with your melter and your molds.
Yeah.
Like probably got to have a space a little bit more dialed in with that. So that's like the biggest probably hurdle for people when it comes to soft baits, even though they might want to do it or it interests them. But yeah, you need your blanks, you need airbrush paint, you need an airbrush. The airbrush market is actually pretty forgiving. Like you'd be surprised the quality of gun you could get for the money. So even some of these like basic airbrushes that are like 70, 80 bucks, like you're just getting into it, go with that one. Don't go spend $250 on an airbrush. You can spend like upwards of $1,000 on an airbrush, like just not
Oh yeah.
necessary. But yeah, we make the airbrushing thing as simple as possible too. I mean, we developed our own airbrush paints that are super beginner friendly. They don't require like any thinning. There's an iridescent line that requires maybe a little thinning, but we try to make it as simple as possible. We even named the colors bait fish forage names to help fishermen pick it out, like sriracha sunfish. We got a sexy shad blue, like,
Nice.
just try to make it easy for people, and also made them in kits. So
the kits are awesome. I would definitely call that out. And I do also want to say I feel personally attacked by the rollaway card table process because I built a workbench on wheels for my microwave and my bait making station. The only reason I pulled that off, by the way, is my wife was looking for a workbench station. I was like, "Oh, we'll make you a workbench, and then I'll use it sometimes, and I'll get lots of plastic all over it." I'd have the rollaway cart for the kayak, and now I have the workbench as well, and they're two separate pieces. Right? So I mean, it works out.
entire garage is on wheels.
I've made,
yeah.
I've
Paul did make glow in the dark baits, and half of them turned out great, and half of them
More than half.
3/4.
There you go.
Maybe 2/3. I don't know. A chunk of them turned out. We gave some of them away. So, I mean, some of you guys probably have them right now.
I still have some of them.
Yeah. Oh, you should. You made like 20. Scott Vermonter probably has them. You're right, Chaz. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. He wins every single Schmiv away. If he wins today, I would be like, what? Anyways, I don't know where we're going with that. I want to roll on back because we talked about kind of like the main categories of bait making that you guys are offering, which is really cool. The one we're focused on right now, soft plastics. I feel like it's the most, I wouldn't say it's the most I do want to make like a crankbait one time. That would be super cool, or maybe some lead jigs. But right now, it's the most interesting. So it's the one that we're hyper fixated on because that's what Paul and I do. We just hyper fixate and buy.
pretty soon you'll be hyper fixated on airbrushing and
I'm
pouring
sure.
jigs to watch like.
Don't
I'll be back
do
here
this to
in
me.
2 months from now. And
Yeah.
we'll see how
Don't you do
that.
Wait that long? I need to see you in August. Stat.
So going back to soft plastics, something we're definitely interested, kind of the theme today that like really kicked this off was, and I want to get to your Smalley trip on this as well. If they want to go out there, our folks, our audience here wants to go out and they want to make these baits. Um, they want to catch on their own baits. There's kind of a magic to that, right? Like you made this thing, now you catch a fish on this thing. That's really cool. What was like your experience, or what I guess got you into this whole thing with making baits and catching fish with them?
So I'm sorry, I cut out or you cut out at the
Oh,
beginning of
okay.
that, but from what I heard, what got me into making baits and catching fish with them? Is
Yeah.
that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I grew up 5 minutes north of where I'm sitting right now, and did not start making baits until I started working here. If I'm being totally honest with you, what attracts me to it more than anything is the control that I have
Hmm.
um, to make exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So like for example, we're going to talk about big smallies. Like there's not a whole lot of stuff, and this is not a shot to the market by any means to my fellow fishing industry friends. Um, there's not a whole lot on the market that I would want to buy online or grab off a shelf somewhere and then take up to Sturgeon Bay, which we're going to talk about, to chase these smallies. Like there's a very small amount of tackle on the market that I feel confident in fishing for those fish up there, upwards of 7 pounds in some cases. So just being able to control the hook that goes in there, knowing what you're getting, and then of course being able to tweak it to your liking or dial it in according to a fishery, maybe a specific color, maybe a smaller hook, maybe both. That's important to me. So that's what attracts me to it the most.
Love it. And I mean, that's partially why we're into it. And I know that's why a lot of guys are into it. And
Mhm.
we've definitely fished with a lot of folks that have very customized, even if they don't make their own baits, like, they'll, use this special scent, right, that they came up with, and they'll
Or they've
soak
got
their
a bait
baits.
making guy. They've got a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, they're like, I need that specific color. I need this specific scent. It must be soaked in that scent on a blood moon for 30 days. Otherwise, it ain't catching no fish, right? They've
I
got their
swear by the blood
process.
moon.
Swear by the blood moon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, on the note of blood moon, let's just get in and talk about these smallies. So, you went on a trip recently, right? You want to tell the folks where you went and what you were fishing for, real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So I was up in Sturgeon Bay, kind of a work deal really, but was up in Sturgeon Bay for 6 days, chasing smallies, chasing big ones specifically. It was a riot. We ended up finding them relatively quickly and just kind of got to enjoy them as they were coming in. Like there was already some fish that were there initially when we had gotten there that had been there for probably a week, week and a half. Um, and we knew the way we had it timed up, we had this nice warming trend coming our way. Unfortunately, the warming trend didn't really happen until the last 2 days, like it was projected to the whole time. But we got to see some really cool stuff. We talked backstage before the show, like literally the day when we were leaving, we were fishing in 3 to 4.5 feet of water, if I remember right. Throwing little marabou jigs, 16th ounce. Um, and we were seeing schools of 5 pounders swimming by the boat every 5 or 10 seconds. There'd be another school, and it might have 25 fish, or it might have six, but just schools of giants all around us, and like it's should be on National Geographic. It was incredible. So got to beat
Gosh,
on some fish, and it was a riot.
So how
I'm
many
not
times have you
I'm
been
not
to
mad.
Sturgeon Bay?
I've been to Sturgeon Bay.
Like a
I think this is my.
dozen or like 6 dozen?
No, no, not that much. I wish, man. I'm gonna say I've probably been there 8 times.
Okay, which is a lot.
Yeah,
That's
and
So
like usually for about 3 to 9 days. So enough
that's
enough time out there to like know my way around, but definitely not an expert.
and when you mean Sturgeon Bay, are you talking about like Green Bay? Are you talking about like the little choke point, like Sturgeon Bay, Sturgeon Bay? Like what part of the like what's the size of that circle of water you're on?
Yeah, so Sturgeon Bay would be north of Green Bay, about 40 minutes, 35, 40, 45 minutes.
Yep.
I've fished all the way up to Egg Harbor, all the way down to Fox River on Green Bay, and then all over the west shoreline too for walleye. Um, but no, I was focused on the Sturgeon Bay area pretty specifically, a little south of there as well.
Yep.
It's crazy on Great Lake systems, like you've got this vast open area and it's like an ocean. I mean, it's breathtaking views. It's insane. But it's funny because when it comes to the fishing part, like 99% of the fishermen are in 1% of the areas. So it's
Well, that's what I
yeah.
was about to get at, because if you, it's not ocean fishing, obviously, but it's very much like if you I've seen videos of you guys throwing the drone up, right?
Mhm.
When you guys are working. And if you were to do that and you were to see that footage, this is not just when they're bedding either. I mean, this is just standard, and this would go for Saginaw Bay. This would go for really anywhere, almost anywhere. You would see like 30 boats in one area, and then you'd see huge swaths of open shoreline, and then you would see like another area, and you'd see 10 boats, and everybody knows those like 10, 15 areas, and they're kind of like, hey, where are you guys going today? We're gonna go to like, spots 1, 2, or 3, or
Right.
whatever, right? And like obviously there's some in between, but yeah, people get locked up. So I guess my question to you is, how did you become aware of like some of those areas where you're like, okay, like we gotta go hit this rocky area because it's in the right it's where they're gonna be today, right? Versus no, we're gonna go do the docks out here where I know that there's fish. I've seen fish in the past. Like, how did you find that list of areas? Like, how'd you come across those?
So Sturgeon Bay, like it's very wind, any Great Lake system, any lake, but like Great Lakes, this is, wind is like the lifeblood out there. Um, so our best days, and this was really relatable for me. It's amazing because like I'm a Mississippi River fisherman for the most part. It's an hour and a half away from me, so like fishing current is like what I do, right? That wind direction out there sets up fish on rock features, a bunch of different types of structure out on Sturgeon Bay, mainly rock. Um, but it sets up just like a river. So you can get on these rock spines and focus on the transition from rock to sand, let's say. And it just depends on the depth that they're in based on what time of the year it is, maybe not even what the water temperature is. Like I caught fish in 2 feet of water in 46-degree water when I was there. Like it just depends on the day. You got to be ready to maybe, transition from 10 foot to 3 foot in the same day, in the same hour, depending on sunlight in some cases. But wind, sun, crucial out there. And use your side imaging. Get out there, do some Google Earth study. Understand where the rock spines are. Like, man, we fished a bunch of new stuff this year that I'd never fished. That we were just out there on the boat looking at Google Earth, right? Finding new rock spines. Like we talked about, there was 1,000 boats on this area. We know that that's kind of where it goes down. It's a community hole. We've been in there too, but like, what else is out here? Google Earth's your best friend. So
I love that. Preaching
yeah.
the exploration, because that's what we talk about all the time as well.
Mhm.
Because it is very easy. Like I know, especially not that a bunch of rookie anglers are going to hop in a boat, head out in Sturgeon Bay, and like try and knock them dead, but they might. And like they're definitely on the ponds that we fish all the time, right? And it's so easy to be like, oh, that guy over there is fishing, I'm gonna go where he is, right? It's like, well, you don't know if that guy's doing anything. You don't know how he's doing. Like, maybe
Yeah.
just figure it out on your own. And anytime, I don't know about you, but if I get into let's say Paul and I want to do a tournament together, or we're talking about the Knucklehead Bass Series, like the worst thing that I find I can do is like try to figure it out based off of what other people are doing. Like, oh, what are you catching them on? Neds? All right, I'll throw a Ned now, right? And then it just doesn't work for you because you're not
Yeah.
confident in it. So it's like you really gotta like figure it out on your own. And I think the Google Earth thing really helps out, especially on like gigantic water, but let alone just new water. If you're pond hopping for my bank fishing folks and my kayak fishing folks out here, it makes a massive difference. So here's what I gotta ask,
Mhm.
obviously, is like, you guys are out there for a while. What was the biggest fish? Who got the big one? What was it?
Um, it was my coworker and friend Drake. Caught a 6.37 was our biggest. We didn't crest 7. We've been close in years past. We actually haven't got a 7 yet. I have not caught a 7. My biggest is 6.12 out there, which is close, but not 7. But Drake caught an absolute tank. I was so happy for him. I had a coworker up from Arkansas, lives down in southern Arkansas, and he met us up there and wanted to get in on the Great Lakes thing. Had never done it before, and
Oh my God.
he caught a 6.10.
Nice.
So, yeah, there was some giants being caught. I had 2 buddies next to me that caught 6s, like on the same rock spine that I'm fishing. I'm like, damn it, everybody's catching giants but me. You know, I never caught a 6, but it was fun. It was awesome. So lots of big fish.
You're still friends with them. That's the magic of that statement.
I'm pretending like I am for the show, but now you've blown my cover. Yeah, I stopped talking to him.
He's gonna just rip that shirt off right when the show ends. All right, we're out.
Yeah.
God damn it.
None of them made it back alive is the actual dark secret. He was like, well, sink in this boat.
They're actually all up in Sturgeon Bay still.
I was about to say, they're on that rock spine that I was telling you about, where there were
they're
no
still
other
out on the
boats.
rock spine.
I hit
will
that
be
baby
fishing
at
over their
35.
corpses next year, and a 6.12 will be on one of their corpses.
Waypoint that spot. Waypoint it.
Hey, drop me a waypoint here.
Turn on your side imaging when you go by there.
Yeah, Drake, before I throw you overboard, drop me a waypoint.
Right.
Now give me the fish. Get out of here. Exactly. We don't need anchors, man.
But going back to Sturgeon Bay real quick, I would say if anybody wanted to go out there that's new, like definitely got to have the right equipment. You got to have the right boat for it. But don't be afraid, even if you're in a little boat. You know, like there's bays, there's areas to tuck out of. Some of the most productive water is pretty protected, which is not good for the smallmouth, but good for the angler. And try not to overcomplicate things. Do your research on baits, you know, downsize. Those fish generally, especially pre-spawn, prefer some pretty small stuff. They'll crush a 4-inch swim bait, they'll crush bigger baits, but springtime, like you really downsize. You know, I've fished swim baits as small as 2 inches up there, pre-spawn on 3 32nd ounce heads and catch 6-pounders, you know.
You just said 132.
All of my 5 biggest smallmouth were all on a 332 and a 2.5-inch paddle tail.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We have a request. So Brennan, I need to know how you feel about this banger. Hang on.
Okay.
We can only play 5 seconds. So what do you think of that?
I loved it. I wish I could hear 5 seconds more.
I'm gonna tell you something.
If you go to Temu, then
do you know what Temu is?
I don't. I guess I've been missing out.
So it's TEMU. You haven't missed out on anything. It's basically like AliExpress or Wish.com. So it's that. And we found it was a real
steel master.
It was a bait caster made to look like it was fully chromed out metal. It's all plastic.
But it was like $7.
But the promo, like 30-second clip, was just that song, and we happened to cross.
Downloaded it immediately.
Sounds like whoever owns that brand put a lot of money into that.
Bro,
just into that promo
ready
reel.
To sell.
They went all out. Nice.
There's some wacky stuff in there, man. Oh my gosh.
So
we do. Is that going up Friday? The Temu?
Yes, that goes up Friday. The fishing Temu goes up Friday.
Okay, so if you want to see what you can expect on there, Brendan, we did a unbox of that like a week ago, and then this Friday I fished it, and you can see how it went. I'll give you here's your preview. Hang on.
You have the duck.
Where's the duck? Here he is.
The duck is insane. I have the duck back here.
Here's your preview. There's a duck crankbait.
Yeah. That's a beauty.
And there's this, which is like a lunker hunt prop fish with a blade.
It looks like a dark sleeper whopper plopper love child, doesn't it?
It's real weird. Beautiful. And also it's very
birthed
important.
in a lunker hunt lab.
Yeah, it's really important. They worked hard on Hook.
That's they wrote that on the box. We work hard on Hook.
Oh, and they wrote quality. Yeah. And it was real, like
wavy
the weirdest script I've ever seen, and I had no idea what it said. So
that hook is probably so good that one is all you need. so they
I
weren't going to
mean,
put another one on there. And
why would they
waste
do that? They already put a blade on the back. You're set.
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's so light wire. It's kind of insane. I don't know what it's made of. It's real weird. Anyways, they worked hard on it. That's important. So there's your
Before
Temu
so
sidebar.
before we get into Slow Rolling Thunder, the fun part of the show at the end. Um what is your most used plastic mold? Like the one that you use the most
Oh
that you're
yeah.
like, if I had to sell them all and I could only keep one, what one would it be?
Man, that's tough because like there's a couple gems in each category, and we can talk about
How
that
about
too.
this? How about this? What's your favorite mold for like creature slash flipping? It could be one of the two.
Okay, then I'm gonna go Bushi Beetle on creature slash flipping. I'll go the Bushi Beetle on that one.
That was one of the ones that I was looking at. What?
But
Okay,
dude,
so
I got
then
some right behind me that I can't talk about, but you'll see soon that it's my new favorite.
noted.
All right. All right.
So which one of we'll say the fish imitators, so like fluke, paddle tail, swim bait, what's one of your favorite in that realm?
Okay, I'll separate those two because I have to.
All right.
There's a sleeper in the fluke category that is the fat fork. Check that out. Get your hands on a fat fork.
I'm literally doing it.
Yep,
Right
that's a good one. That's my favorite like fluke style bait, and it's really different than anything else that's other
Yeah.
people are throwing. Dude, I use it as a chatterbait trailer. That's like my favorite thing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's intense, yeah.
What
Vertical
size?
tail?
Because we got,
Okay.
do you go the 4-inch?
I think I use the 4-inch for like pretty much everything. I use the 3-inch though if I'm fishing like a weightless fluke. In that scenario, I would go with the 3-inch usually.
You just said the magic words. Now Jeff has to have both of them.
Oh
Okay.
man, it's just got expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what
So
was the
then-
other category?
The paddle
Swim
tail,
bait.
like the swim bait.
Man, you're killing me.
I know.
I
This
like
is
our
not.
ripper.
You think we ask
We're making a shopping
softball
list,
questions?
bro.
Like, what kind of show do you think we're running here?
Well, originally this was supposed to be one, and you're allowing me like 8. So
I've already
we're-
given you the world.
We're not even
okay?
halfway
Right.
done, bro. We're making a list.
I
Tell
go
us
our
specifically
ripper.
what to buy.
Yeah, 4-inch ripper if you're gonna get a swim bait.
Yes.
3.5 or 4-inch ripper, probably 3.5 for most people. Get a 3.5-inch ripper. It's
That's
an
what we have.
incredible action. Like you can feel it in the rod, dude, when you're swimming it through the water. You can
Nice.
feel that tail doing work. So
I probably would have put money. That's what I would have put money on.
The 3.5 Ripper.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
and there's
It's on our
some
list.
cool things you can unlock with that bait too, depending on how hard of plastic you're pouring too.
I love how you just said that you can unlock. like we're in a video game now. Like, all right, bro, here's the deal. For a little
level
bit of
up.
harder plastic,
Yeah.
go unlock next tier. So,
Right, you can get to level 6 that way.
ooh, level 6.
Unheard
I'm
of.
here for it.
I'm assuming I'm on level 0.
Yes, it's where everybody starts, bro. You gotta level up fast. You're gonna get
We'll
dead
get there
a lot.
soon. Know it.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, that is awesome. Good tips. These are things that we're definitely going to be looking at. Because we definitely want more molds. So I think at this point we have what, 4 molds?
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need like 40 more. And then, we can make an army of soft plastics
That's the idea.
to do our bidding. All right. Awesome. Yeah, any other questions on soft baits, Paul? We're rolling into
No, I'm good. I'm ready
Rolling
for
Thunder?
the thunder to let the thunder roll.
Here we go.
Okay. And the thunder rolls.
Our
We're gonna
folks,
have a
let's
few
go.
questions. So the first one, what's that? The lightning has struck. Yes, Charles. All right. So this first one, I want to know, and this is we'll make this into a question as well. Charles, can we do a poll? And let's throw up some colors here, but the colors I want to get from Brennan. So I want to know from chat. Hey chat, by the way, here's the rules. You have to say something in order to qualify for said schmivaways. So make sure you're chatting chat, or you can ask a question, or you can say anything you want, whatever. Just throw it up there so you have words on the screen, and now you qualify for the schmivaway. that said, we'll roll the instructions in case you win. We're rolling for the $25 Monster Bass Schmidt card first. So just a heads up. And then the second winner is going to get a Do It Molds starter kit. So that's going to be legit. Thanks again to Brennan. So here's the poll. I need from Brennan 3 colors, 3 color combos. Remember, we have the dual injectors. So we can do laminates. So laminates are on the table. What are 3, in your opinion, really just sick colors for, just say for now, like Senko / the Midwest Finesse, the Ned? Just to keep it simple, because I mean we have a bunch of molds, blah blah blah. But like, what are 3 sick colors that we should try to pour?
Here we go. Okay, I got them. I'm gonna rattle them right off.
All right.
Black and blue.
Yep.
So you're taking black X2 and you're taking fluorescent blue X2. Put silver on the silver flake on the blue side. Put blue on the black side. Next, I'm gonna give you guys a flash color that I use in Ned rigs sometimes, but in a lot of other baits as well. And it goes like this: watermelon red on one side, so watermelon green colorant with red flake on that side. Other side, chartreuse with black flake. Kind of a weird one, but it works, trust me.
Absolutely. Well, yes. I would, if that was like a ring pop, I'd buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like it's not like as bold as you'd think when they merge. You know what I'm saying? Like when those 2 colors contrast, it's like not as crazy as you might think, but it's still a flash color. And then lastly, to imitate some craws, I would go green pumpkin, black on one side, and then on the other, I would go a varying level, depending on your water clarity, of fluorescent orange with black flake. The dirtier the water, the more fluorescent, the more natural. Back it off. Maybe put some green pumpkin in the orange.
Ooh.
Tone it down.
Now you're blowing my mind.
Yep.
Here's how new we are to it. We've never thought about that. Like, let's just combine some colors. That's fine. Yeah. Notice how Paul looked to his right, our left. It's a whiteboard. That's where we write all our ideas. So I hope you're writing that down. That we're gonna be. Yeah. So, did you do the poll? You got it up? Okay. So, how did you lay it out? I got to switch my windows here.
No, we're
I'm
good.
just okay, yeah. So, you guys, chat, you're voting on which colors we should pour. So, pick the one you like the most, the one that sounds the coolest. And just realize that we're probably going to pour all of them.
And we're going to screw them all up.
We're going to make them terrible, and we're going to send pictures to Brennan, and he's going to be disappointed in us.
I'll just say ha 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 ha.
Oh, that's fine.
Nice try.
No, we're used to that.
I won't even say that. It'll just be ha ha ha. You won't know if it's good or bad.
It'd be like that if I asked the Joker to answer a question. I expect everyone. I have made so many. Well, I've made plenty of mistakes, and they're all different. I will say I learned like one of the most important lessons that I should have made that I like didn't make, that even when I knew what I was doing, I like learned 10 things on how to do it better after I tried it first time. Was when I was doing the laminate with 2 colors and 2 kinds of flake, and I wanted to do top and bottom on the fluke mold. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to remember. I thought ahead. I was smart. I was like, I have to remember which side, of the injector has which color, and then I have to like orient it properly so that like the color I want on top ends up on top and the one on bottom ends up on bottom. And I was so smart and I was so careful. And then I realized at the end, it's like, I'm so dumb. I could have just used like a piece of masking tape and just put like top, bottom, right? Like I could have just done, and then so I didn't screw it up, but I like spent like long minutes agonizing. And then once I had the plastic in the mold, I thought I accidentally turned it. And then I had to like sit there and be like, oh my God, did I accidentally flip it over or not? And then I was like red wire, green wire, stress level. And then I shot it. And then the whole thing didn't matter because I took so long. And my block, I hadn't figured out how to heat the block up, that the block was cold. And then so the whole thing was plugged up anyways. And all I got was purple. And I was like, I just wanted to throw up at that point because that was the third time I tried.
But think of how many lessons you just knocked out in that short amount of time. You know what I mean? Like you
Learn
learn so
fast.
much in those 2 minutes. Like you don't have to do that stuff again.
Well,
That's
I don't
Um,
need to. I will, but I definitely.
All
Yeah,
right.
I
get
learned
yourself a
so much.
permanent marker on all your molds. T for top, B for bottom, and you'll be good. And then
See, sir. Because
you
yeah,
learn a bunch of other stuff.
as we get a bunch of these other molds, a lot of them have the distinctive top and bottom,
Sure.
right? So, okay. Survey says we are going to be pouring the watermelon red chartreuse with black flake, which I like a
Nice.
lot. It's like a spin on the copper truce, which is like one of our favorite colors of all time. And imagine the Z-Man copper truce just with the black flake and the chartreuse part of it. Like that's kind of what I'm picturing. And more red than obviously copper, but yeah, I like it. That's going to be fun. Second place was the green pumpkin fluorescent orange with black flake. And then somehow in last place, black and blue with silver flake, which
Come
sounds like
on,
a
guys.
really legit color. Like
If you knew Brennan, you know that would be like I knew that was the first thing you were going to say. Is that weird? I remember that from our spinnerbait discussion from before.
Yeah.
And I got the royal blue, which was a recommendation from you, and it is the flake. It is incredible.
For sure. Yeah.
That royal
Yeah.
blue flake is friggin' sweet.
Yeah,
I
man.
dig it. All right. Awesome. So let's do this. Let's do one more question. Then we'll roll the MB Schmidt card. And then after our last question, we'll do the big rollout. Yeah? Paul? Or should we do the MB now?
I'd rip it.
All right, fine. Let's just do our first drawing then. So we got the MB 25. What? Hold it. Okay. So can I say now? Oh no. Chaz's
All right, we're gonna have
robot
to start all over.
Chaz's robot exploded. So here's the deal. If you've chatted already, you got to do it again. So everybody just make sure you get some sort of chat in. We're gonna give you time. We're gonna do another question. And then Chaz, everyone chat now.
I'm running out of answers, Chaz. You got to get that thing going.
Don't worry.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so the bot is working again. So just keep chatting some stuff, guys, and then we'll get you entered in here. So let's do this. Brennan's camera exploded.
I'm coming back.
And now
Wait,
what?
what? Oh,
I'm back.
Oh,
My
Chaz
computer
was on
timed out.
screen. Secret Chaz performance.
Charles
Hello.
took over your screen. You're good.
Oh, wow.
That's why we have a wizard.
This is great.
Can I
Okay,
just say,
let's go to the next question to give them time. But yeah, go
before we
ahead.
go to the next question, I'm really surprised that green pumpkin fluorescent orange did not win in a landslide.
I'm
It's a good color,
for
man.
that.
Dude.
Bluegill, crawfish, kind of looks like everything. You can dial it into your fishery according to water clarity.
It's already one of our favorite colors. So our buddy Ethan Duvetter, he has a company called Mule Fishing, and they do like the Elastec type plastic, right? Durable, stretchy, soft plastic.
PE plastics, yep.
Yeah, but with no salt, so it doesn't get like waterlogged.
Yeah, so they hold up forever. So he has a color called Pasture Fire, which is like a laminate green pumpkin black flake with orange underneath, and it's like a not super fluorescent, not crazy, right? So like you said, maybe throw a little green pumpkin in it and mix that up. I'm down for that because if I can recreate that color in all the plastics that I use, that'd be amazing. The thing catches.
You'll find that you
nobody's
can
business.
recreate anything, literally. I mean, you can recreate any color on the market that you've ever seen. Like,
Well,
you can
I
do it.
can't, but maybe in a year or two, after a couple hundred
current
attempts.
current me can't.
Current me can't even
Later
replicate what's
me-
in my head.
Later me can almost do it, and then really later me can probably do it. All right.
Future
We got
you
this.
is going to be great at
I
this.
would be so rad at this.
At what point in the future? We don't know. Probably pretty far away. All right, let's do this. We've been talking long enough. Let's do the Monster Bass Schmidt card. Right meow.
Yes.
Chaz.
Oh yeah.
Will Trax. Hey, congrats. I love that Will Trax 71 has a comma in his name. That's like my favorite part of his name. Will, comma,
There's a
Trax.
pause. Yes, there's
71.
there's
Wait
a
for
subtle
it.
pause.
Will,
Tracks.
comma, Trax. All right,
maybe
so Will
it's
Trax.
maybe it's because that's his last name.
Tracks Will.
And maybe it's Tracks Will. You don't know.
Oh
Maybe
no.
royalty, perhaps.
You
Right?
don't
Is
even
that
know.
fancy of a name?
71. He's the 71st
Oh,
generation.
man.
You don't know.
Yep.
How would you
Yep.
know? Would have
All
to
right,
ask him.
so Will.
William, that sounds like a king's name, doesn't it?
Yeah, he is
Royalty,
for sure
dude.
royalty.
What an honor.
Sir William Tracks.
It's just
All right,
can we-
well, listen, Sir William Tracks, follow the instructions on the screen, and we will award you, sir, with a $25
Posthumously.
Schmidt card to monsterbass.com. So enjoy that. We recommend use it towards a Monster Bass rod, the Lunker Sticks. So hook yourself up, dude. All right, next question, and then we're gonna do a Do It Mold starter kit. So for that, Brennan, I think we worked it out with you last time. Like, we'll get the info, we'll send it over your way. If that works.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. We just figured that out on air, y'all.
That was
Look
fast.
at that. Administrative magic. All right. Anyways, next question. So the second one, Paul, you just threw this in there. I like this. So what is the best thing that you've ever won in a contest? Right? Speaking of, potentially winning a schmiv away here, y'all. What is the best thing you've ever won? We'll let Brennan go first.
I'll go while you guys think, unless you already have it.
I don't. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay.
So, do you guys ever go to like the Ducks Unlimited or like the Trout Unlimited dinners?
Yeah, and I'm the one sorry guy that never wins anything.
Buckle
and
up to
everybody
be-
else wins all around me every single time. And I
get
get
ready
a
to
door
be-
prize.
Get ready to be pissed off. So I went to a Trout
More than
Unlimited
you already are.
Yeah, I went to a Trout Unlimited dinner, and this is the first one I ever went to. Honestly,
Yeah.
God, first one I ever went to. So I go in. I gave up. I think I had $60 or $80 in tickets, which is in the
Yeah.
medium side. Most guys are like $100. They just do it every time. $100, $100. Some guys are like $500-$600. It's somewhere in there. Like just as point of reference for like you're buying raffle tickets. And so they have buckets like all the way around, and you take your tickets and you drop however many you want in the buckets, and you're just in a raffle for whatever that prize pack is. They have everything from like rods, reels, guns. Like it's great. Like waders, boats, chainsaws. Like it's fantastic. So I go in there and I'm perusing. They had a wall of rods, and what it was is it was only the $20 tickets could go in, and you got to choose. If you won, you got to choose out of whatever was left. So they would draw like 30, and there were like 30 rods on the wall. So like, put one in there, whatever. So I put one in there. There were two of my favorite fly shops, like the local ones, and so I hit them both up because I'm like, these are good people. I'm getting them in there. So I go in there, and then I went back and I had my last ticket and I dropped it into the rod one because there was nothing else that I was like, I'm not gonna win anyway. So I'll double my chances in the rod. So they're going through and I'm not winning anything, and I did not expect to win anything. I was pretty much just donating that one to charity. There are 3 rods left. I won a 5-weight. What was it? It was the nicest 5-weight that I had at the time. It wasn't a Saint. What was it? I sold it. It was a really nice rod. I don't remember what it was, but it was nice. No, it was not that nice. It wasn't like a $2,000 rod, but it was like a $1,000 rod. It was super nice. It was a high-end Reddington. It was a nice rod. So I got one of those. But then I won the crown jewel. I was an idiot. I picked that rod. I didn't realize this other rod was on the wall. I was an idiot. I won again while I was standing up there. So then I win a TFO 3-weight fly rod, which is what I actually wanted, and it's their highest end model. I still have that rod. It's my favorite. It's the best. It's the best fly rod I've ever owned. It's fantastic.
Wow.
While I'm walking back to my table, I went $500 shopping spree, a Regal fly vise kit, which is like $250. And there was something else in that pack. So I won like another $1,000 of stuff while I was I didn't even hear my name because I was all giddy walking back with my rods, and I was like showing up to the table, and they're like, "Bro, you just won again." And I had to go back. And get my $500 cash plus all my stuff. So yeah, I cleaned house. It was, and that was like, I was like ready to leave. These are like the last 5 prizes. Unreal.
That's why guys like me don't win anything, Paul, because guys like you win everything.
I'm so sorry.
I'm the guy that like you hear a loud bang and the garbage can tips over and like the door slams shut, and I'm out of there when that stuff happens. That's me every time. Like I don't know. I guess I don't buy enough raffle tickets. I don't know, man.
I don't think I think 60, $80 is on the low end. I think like the cheapest people usually goes like $40, and you either get all the $10, $5 tickets, or you
Yeah.
just go in for the 20s.
I think Paul was just blessed that day. Everybody gets blessed one day in their life at least.
Son,
and
I
that
was.
was it. Now you're cursed the rest of your time.
That's fine. It was worth it.
My
was
day
worth
is
it.
coming.
Wow.
You won an
Chaz.
ATV? Dude, that's killer.
That's
awesome.
Chaz that won the ATV. That's who we're talking
Yeah.
about.
I love it. That's
So Brennan,
insane.
have you ever won anything?
Dude, no, I'm not
Never?
even kidding. Like Tuesday night bass tournaments, dude. I don't miss. I miss a couple because I have to for work, but like
Yeah.
I'm there every Tuesday, right? From April to end of August.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
raffle tickets there every week. They give away like 10 things. Like I win like once every other year. I win like a $5 gift card.
Oh
It's
God.
crazy. It's insane.
Okay, hold on.
To
How about
TGI
this?
Fridays.
You ever win
Yeah.
like a foot race? You ever win like a
You ever
contest
place a
of
bet with your
skills?
friends?
Oh yeah, I mean I've won stuff, just nothing cool or substantial. Like I haven't won
Fair enough.
an ATV. I haven't won a bunch of expensive fly rods. I just
But you
don't.
won a 3-legged race in elementary school. So I mean, that's pretty
100%.
rad.
Yeah.
All right. So mine, I mean, I've won like little things lots of times that are whatever, they're fine. But the one that always sticks out to me was when I was like 8 years old. I won a mountain bike at like a local community center raffle. My mom put in a raffle ticket for me. Or no, you know what it was? You had to like read a certain number of minutes at the library or whatever.
Yeah.
So like read the minutes and I was like, fine, cool, whatever. Put my name in and I won a mountain bike. And I was like, hell yeah.
I would be fired
That's
up.
like life changing for an
Fired up.
8-year-old, right?
Fired
Yeah.
up.
I mean, I had that thing. I kept that mountain bike probably for like 12 years.
Way too long.
Way to the point where my dad's like, you don't really fit on that anymore. Like, not even close. And I was like, Dad, shut up. This is my prize.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that was rad. It wasn't like
Not bad.
something, amazing that you would think of as an adult, but as a child, blew my mind, therefore cemented in memory, right?
Going off.
Cool. All right. Well, that was fun. It's an interesting one. Chaz, you were back on screen for 0.05 seconds. Now, let's do the itMolds starter kit giveaway, shall we? And then we'll have a... Wait, what? You're so fast with these rolls. I'm like, hey, let's roll this thing. And I'm expecting like a drum roll. And we go like 3, 2, 1. And you're just like, this guy won. Oh no, Brennan. Oh no, my friend. Well, Chaz, you're on the show now. We lost Brennan. So no, hang on. So we just did the itMolds giveaway, and then Brennan bailed.
Yeah.
He's like, what? No, what? He's back.
You guys are breaking up.
Can you
Wow.
imagine?
Sorry, boys. I don't know what happened. I just went down.
No worries at all.
I thought you just didn't want to shmiv away a starter kit.
Was I just
You were
like frozen in place? Could you see me?
I saw
Chaz
you. I
takes
thought I saw
over
you
for you.
moving.
When you get ejected, like you're in the passenger seat of a 007 car, he just pops in, comes up from the bottom.
Okay.
It's a crazy thing.
Cool.
It's jarring. It's jarring for all the viewers. So here's the deal. We
Wow.
did draw a winner, and that person is the Odyssey. And the Odyssey, I think you've been commenting on a lot of videos. So I mean,
I just saw him yesterday.
I know you exist, and you better be here, man. Claim your prize, dude.
Sounds like a space
don't-
explorer to me.
It's kind of
I
dope.
mean,
It's a
don't know.
good name.
What a cool audience you guys have.
Right? Space explorers, freaking people
Royalty.
putting commas in their
Yeah.
royalty
We had a
name.
sir in here earlier.
Yeah, 100%. Odyssey. Odyssey. We did distract ourselves, so we're gonna give you time
How
now.
long? We give him 2 minutes. Is that the?
It's a pretty rad prize. I mean, I don't know. You better be here, bruh. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
minutes.
Odyssey.
Timer
I
starts.
hope.
It
hope you're
does.
not
I
like-
got it. I got it locked in. 2
Here
minutes.
we go.
Can you imagine if you're just like, I'll go fold the laundry and then like I'll be back to the show.
Brennan's probably left a bunch of times, and they're like, Brennan, we have a Corvette now. All right, nah, we'll give it to Rick. We'll give it to Rick.
He's actually
My
won.
screen froze. Couldn't.
I didn't even know.
No. Dude, Brennan has won at every event he's gone to. He just hasn't seen it. 'Cause he
Yes.
left.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Brutal.
I've won the state lottery countless times, but
Just,
Yeah.
screen
Yeah.
froze, you know?
windows open, tickets gone. I wouldn't. That was
Yep.
brutal.
Oh
All
man.
right, should we ask? I think
we
let's
asked the
ask the
last
next
question,
question.
and the
Yes.
Odyssey. This is your chance, bro. Like we're gonna have to
We will
re-roll.
re-roll.
We will.
re-roll.
We've done it in the
Planet Earth Odyssey.
past. We'll do it again because I mean, if you don't answer in chat, how am I supposed to get your info to give it to my boy Brennan here? So we can't give you that
Must
stuff.
be present to win.
100%. That's it. All right. So we will re-roll. Did the timer lapse? It must have.
We got another minute.
All right. Question. Here we go. Last one, and then we're out of here. So what this is an interesting one. There's obviously a slew of crazy, we'll say creative, and lots of cool soft plastics on the market. What is like the most ridiculous soft plastic lure you have ever seen in your entire life, Brennan?
Oh man.
I know my answer.
I've seen some impressive worms. Like
Yeah.
crazy worms.
Do they have duck
we
feet?
have like a 13-inch worm.
Yes, those
it's
are
pretty
always
cool.
insane.
Yeah, and I've caught a fish on it, like just to say that I did, even though it's not
Nice.
that, crazy for a fish to eat it, but like just had to try it.
It
I don't know,
kind
I've
of
seen some
is
cool
nuts
stuff on
though.
Instagram.
When
It
you
is.
have
Right.
a worm, so I got a pack of worms that big from God knows where.
I have it now. You gave it to me.
Yeah, it
was
was
the KVDs. Yeah.
It was insane, and I find that to be nuts. I will say though, the craziest plastic that I've seen that's like you can go buy is it's like a 10-inch Helgramite.
Yep.
Really? Wow, that's a
That's
big
pretty
deal.
insane. We have it.
I mean,
or no, we have an 8, right? That's what you picked up?
there's a bigger one than that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, it's huge. It's
That's
massive.
probably honestly, that's probably more alluring to a bass than like a 13-inch, giant stick bait or ribbon tail. I would think.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. But
Sounds
when you
crazy,
see the
but-
plastic, you're like, all right, how many foot-long Helgramites are out there just wriggling around in the dirt?
Yeah. I don't think that happens too often, but
Yeah, maybe on other planets, but not on this one. So that would be
Yeah.
my answer.
that's
Jeff,
why we need Odyssey to comment.
if
We
you
can
would
find
just
out.
let me know.
Well,
Yeah.
the Odyssey did not comment, and
We have lapsed. We have lapsed.
Chaz already
Fix
rolled.
that.
'Cause
Oh.
Chaz,
All right. Who is it, Chaz?
who did respond immediately as you're supposed to. So no hard feelings to the Odyssey. Come back for another one, man. We'll obviously get you back in. You can qualify every single week to win another Schmiveaway, bro. We got you. But next time, don't do chores or whatever you're doing right now. You totally missed out, bro. This is the one part of the show you shouldn't do chores during.
I can relate, Odyssey. I know how that goes.
I
Guys
might-
like Paul can't relate to that, but guys like me can.
I have no
So-
idea. I win everything. I will hook the Odyssey up though if I see him in a comment. I'll be like, yo, hit up the direct message. I'll maybe I'll send him a glow in the dark stick bait.
Maybe I'll send him a duck. All right. So on that note, I do want to. No, I love the Odyssey.
No.
He actually he comments like the nicest things. I love the Odyssey.
He does. He is the nicest.
I'm
person.
bummed that he wasn't here for it, but congrats to Kirk, 100%. So Kirk will take care of you. Make sure you fill out the instructions there, and we'll get that info over to Brennan, who will hook you up. And we'll close out with this. What's the weirdest plastic? Paul, you should know the answer to this one. The weirdest plastic I have ever seen in my life was called the Scam Shad.
Oh,
and it came in an MTB box, dude. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and we
dude.
caught fish on it. We
Yeah.
got fish on it. If anybody
Unfortunately.
remembers the Scam Shad, if you've never heard of it, you have to look it up. I can't even describe it because we'll get demonetized. So, and if that doesn't explain it to you,
It has it resembles part of the
a part
anatomy.
of a body,
That's
not of a
not
man.
part of my body, but could be part of
Nope.
someone else's body who's the opposite of me.
Yep. That was the thing.
It is,
that was
and it's so
legitimately
it's
There's a lot to
painfully,
unpack there. Wow.
It is.
painfully obvious.
Google it
Hold on though.
with privacy on
What about the crankbait condom?
incognito. The what?
The crankbait condom.
Oh yeah, so that's downstairs right now because I took a picture of it and then I threw it on my workbench. So do you guys remember that video we did where I went to a thrift store and I was like, I'm gonna grab whatever weird ass stuff they have in the fishing section. And what I found was an as seen on TV packaging, right? And it had 2 crankbaits in it. And what it was it was, I think was it called fish skins, Paul? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I think it
Anyways,
was.
it was
Yeah.
basically it was a crankbait protection unit. So it was basically a crankbait condom, right? And it was this disgusting, like almost
So nasty.
almost Elastec, but it was so oily. I mean, it was the original packaging too, so it was probably 100 years old, and definitely out of at least 1990 something that thing came out.
No, it came out in
No.
91.
It was 90s. So you put it over the crankbait and then you attach the split ring and the hooks, right? So imagine just this sticky sleeve and it came with a tail. So it's like adding an actual
It had
tail to your
It
crankbait.
had texture.
What in the world?
It was
Dude,
completely insane.
this
And
was
then
sold on television one time.
and then
Actually, as soon as you said "as seen on TV," when you saw that on the package, I was like buckling in, like this is
Yup.
gonna be a doozy. Yeah, I mean,
It
there
gets
was
that's how that
worse.
stuff works.
it had texture. It had the most amount of glitter, like ultra fine powdery
Yep.
glitter all over it.
And it fell on everything. And then they didn't swim. They did not
Not at
work.
all.
Like once
Not
you
at
fished
all.
it didn't work at all. It like
It was
ruined
so
the action of your
bad.
crankbait. We
Oh,
tried replacing the trebles, taking the trebles off. It wouldn't even, it was nothing worked. But here's the deal, it got worse, right? So I'll post a picture tomorrow. It has been sitting up here on the top shelf for a year, Paul? Almost a year?
Like
6
8, 9
months?
months.
7
is
Yeah.
it
months?
a part of your shelf now?
It's
Almost.
it-
It has, there's no trace of it, but it has fully eroded, like just disintegrated, like this fish skin.
it's like it's melting. It's amazing.
Wow, cool.
It's absolutely the craziest, worst thing I've ever seen. But we were talking about soft plastics, and the Scam Shed takes the gold in
It
that
does.
category, my
Oh, God.
friends. So again, go Google it, kids. Incognito. Don't show your mom.
Not suitable for
All right. All right. Well, this has been fun. What a way to wrap up a show such as this.
For sure.
Very formal show that we run here. What?
We do
Oh,
ship to Canada, yeah.
sweet. Let me guess. Kirk's in Canada.
Oh,
We have
perfect.
the
Yeah. Oh,
we,
that's totally fine. We'll get it to you. Yep.
that's
Yep.
perfect.
We'll hook it
Thank
up.
you, Brennan. So yeah, I mean, at this point, thank you so much for being on the show, brother, and of course for doing the Schmiveaway. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Kirk, if you don't already make baits yourself, now you will,
You're
and
in.
if you do, there you go. You get to add some stuff to your arsenal. I love that. Brennan with Do It Molds, anything that you want to call out for folks? I know you guys you're working on some stuff. I know you can't tell us, but is there like any drops coming up, any new products? I feel like, did you guys update your website? It like looked different when I hopped on there earlier. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
we're
Maybe I'm
we're we're
crazy.
always like trying to find ways to improve.
Sure.
Yeah, there's going to be some pretty cool changes coming to that specifically.
hmm
But as far as new things coming up, I mean, we got new products dropping at iCast. I think we've got 6 new molds for you guys, and some really cool stuff on both the lead and soft bait side that we're really proud to unveil. So stay tuned for that. Um, and then I would say to anybody new that, is on the fence about this thing, into getting into soft baits, like we've got a tremendous amount of resources on our website. It's called the How We Do It video series. And it's pretty much step by step. Like you can follow along.
It's so
like,
good.
yeah, you run into a problem, you can diagnose it quickly. We did our best to like keep it short and then also offer A to Z stuff too. So if you
Yep.
run into a problem while you're doing it, you can find the dedicated video to that common problem and take care of it. So
They're like 5 minutes. Like I know Ben, Nowak,
mhm.
and Debo did a bunch of like the
Yep.
intro ones. They're all really if you just want the crash course to be like, Just tell me what I need if you're ADHD like us. So you're just like, just tell me what I need. I just need to know immediately. So I can go
Specifically,
F
step
it
1, 2,
up.
3, 4. Yeah,
So I can just go F it up right now. Those are the video. They're really great.
Yeah, for
love it.
sure. So that I mean, let that be your guide if you're getting into it or just want to do some research to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But don't be scared; it's not that hard, and we've got resources to help you. So that's my
Awesome, man.
plug.
Well, hey, we really appreciate you being on the show. So, folks, stay tuned for iCast. We will be at iCast, so we will obviously stop by the Do It Molds
Heck
booth
yeah.
as well. And I think we get to vote. Do we get to vote, Paul? You guys entering
For
like the best in show?
for best in show stuff. Yeah, we do.
You do get
Yeah.
to vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll probably vote for you, or like whatever. I mean, it seems cool.
All right, cool.
We will.
Lock it in.
It's
That's a real vote of
six,
confidence, Jeff.
six
Can
new
I get that in
molds. I'm
writing,
pumped.
please? You didn't sound that confident, man.
Oh,
Apparently, you need
I'm
it.
gonna sign that. I'm gonna put
Gonna
that in
need that in
writing.
blood, brother.
We'll probably, I don't know, probably vote for you. Signed, dated. No, man, I'm excited for it. Really excited to see what you guys drop and all the cool stuff going on at iCast. So can't wait. It's coming up. Only what?
It is, man. It's
Less
almost
than 2
June.
months.
It'll be here soon.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. This year's going by too fast. All right, man. What are you cutting the show? You can't cut the show.
Literally.
I always
Don't make
do
me
the
take to the
outro.
soundboard.
I'll pick up the soundboard.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, you guys, it's been awesome hanging out with you. We'll be back next Wednesday as well. And for our members only live, the next one is, I think we already scheduled it.
The
It's
13th or the 16th? 13th. June
the
13th.
13th of June. So if you are a member, if you're not sure what that is, just click join below. You can find out all about it. All right. See you guys next Wednesday. Charles, take us out of here.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game.